89. He wants 90, Rich. Sign him up! Sign him up, Chicago! Oh, Tyler wins it, Rich. We got to send it back to you. That was wild.
What did he just hit there, Connor?
90 miles an hour, Rich.
90?
91.
91. The youngster might be a Chicago Cub here pretty soon.
All right, welcome back to our pilot pregame show with Connor Nelson, who was so excited to talk there.
I know.
After last night, and run us through the speed pitch.
So, yeah, I mean, to bring all the fans back, for anybody who wasn't there or didn't get to see the mob of fans who were watching that down in the left field corner last night. So, bottom 5, I go down around the top of the 5th. We see some fans over there by the speed pitch. Our intent was to go ahead and host a competition. So there was already a bunch of fans over there. It was great. So we got one guy. His name was Cole. He was the guy who actually came in runner-up. He was wearing that Yankees uniform in that clip, if you could see him. He was throwing like 84 miles an hour before I even showed up. So I was like, okay, we're gonna get some good film right here. And he came up. He was like, all right, I'll do it. None of his friends wanted to show up. So this random guy came up. He's like, hey, I'll do it. I'll do the competition. I'm like, all right, what's your name? And he said his name's Muck, and he was ready to go. So it was going to be Muck versus Cole in the speed toss. And then right before we were about to go on air, Richie was about to send it down to us, Muck leaves to go to the bathroom. So we're left with one contestant. I was doing some arm circles, trying to get ready to go, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have to be the second contestant. And then there was this group of younger guys around. You know, from my perspective, I'd say maybe freshman, sophomore in high school, maybe even younger than that. And they were all kind of egging this one guy on to throw. So I was like, all right, what's gonna happen? He's probably gonna have a cannon, right? But I mean, this guy is kind of older. He's already throwing mid-8s. This is gonna be his 3rd toss. He might be ramping it up even more. You never know. So, anyways, we got on air. I was introducing the candidates, and then Muck finally showed up. So then we had a 3-horse race, and then it was going to get real interesting. So I asked them who was going to go first, and they all pointed at Muck since he showed up late. Fair enough.
Fair.
So Muck went first, put on an absolute show, but topped out at 59 miles an hour.
Not bad.
So we figured that wasn't going to cut it since we did just see Cole throw a lot faster than that. But he was kind of the life of the show. We were having us introduce each other, and he was like, I'm Muck. What up, world?
What up, world?
Yeah,
Hello,
what up,
world?
world? Something about that, man. That was awesome. I wish the PA could have got that. But so he threw 59. Then Cole went 85. So 85 was the number that our last contestant, Tyler, had to beat. He was a younger kid, but his very first throw was 89 miles an hour, Rich. This just blew my socks off, first off. So I was about to send it back up to you and then try and go get a conversation with him in. But then they were like, no. He's got to throw 90. He's got one more toss because I said everybody gets 2 throws. So fair enough, that's the game. He threw another one at 91 miles an hour, and it was this perfect cinematic pause before the velo popped up. In that video, you could see us all just kind of waiting around, and somebody goes, 90?
Should we play the video again?
Let's play it one more time, Rich, so everyone can see it.
Let's see if I can find it here. Or you might find it before I am.
That was
but,
89.
I
He
got
wants
it.
90, Rich.
Oh, just an amazing moment for the fan. And then after that, we wanted to still talk to him. I sent it back up to you, Rich. I was going to try and find it, but they all kind of just scampered off. He got his dub and he left. We were going to maybe have him on the broadcast, talk for an inning.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, hey, if anybody in the stands or watching on YouTube knows who this kid was, his name was Tyler, and he throws 91 miles an hour, send us his info. We want to talk to this guy.
This is like the Rookie of the Year when
Exactly.
Henry Rowengartner throws it from center field.
Hey, we're in a
They try
playoff
and-
race.
Someone bring me that arm.
Exactly. We need that arm. So, hey, that was the big story of yesterday's kind of broadcast is we're kind of implementing some new things. Who knows? We might see another velo competition down the line. We've got only one homestand left after this weekend, so we're going to try and make the most of it. But back here, I'm Connor Nelson. This is Richie Giuliano. We're here from Boyd's Jig and Reel. This is one of our favorite spots to host our pilot pregame shows. Just a couple of blocks from the stadium, and it's got a great atmosphere. They're always playing music. They're doing something new every day,
Yeah.
Richie, and it seems like every night you can come here and have a good time.
Oh, 100%. And especially before and after Smokies games, this place gets packed out. So always a great environment. Love to see the guitars and the fiddles hanging on the wall. And, even Mick Gillespie's grandfather somewhere on this wall.
That's
I'm
right.
not
Slim
sure
Gillespie.
what it is, but Slim Gillespie represented here at the Boys Jigging Reel.
That's right. And, before we get into the rest of the Smokies news, we'll break down the lineups, talk about our players to watch and the starting pitchers one more time. But we always got to talk a little bit about our big brothers up in Chicago, the Chicago Cubs. And coming down to the wire here at the end of the season, right now, they're sitting in a good spot in terms of the wild card race. But, if you asked us a month ago whether the Cubs would be leading the division or leading the wild card, most Cubs fans would have said we're going to be leading the division. But now it seems like the division is totally out of it. The Brewers have run away with it, went on a wild record-breaking winning streak. And now the Cubs, they're 5.5 games up on the wild card, but still kind of an interesting end to their season right now. If you ask Mick Gillespie, you'd say these Cubs need to be playing a whole lot better right now if they want to make a long run in October. What do you think, Rich?
Well, I think it's been the absence of Kyle Tucker. He just hasn't been as good as he was in the first half of the season. Now he's been on the bench, but that's promoted a chance for Owen Casey, a former Smoky who won a championship in 2023 with the Tennessee Smokies at the time, and now he's getting his first look up in the big league. So I feel like, Owen Casey's been waiting in the wings for just years. He's always been a top prospect as an outfielder for the Chicago Cubs. The year that he was with the Smokies, I think he had 31 doubles and 22 home runs, had 22 more home runs this year with the Iowa Cubs, a AAA affiliate. So he always had raw power, good left-handed hitter, strong arm in right field. The problem was there's nowhere to put him. If he was playing in any other organization, he would have been up in the big leagues by now. But because you have two all-stars out there in center field and right field, there's nowhere to put him. So that was the problem this year with Casey when they signed Kyle Tucker, and then how good Pete Crow Armstrong was this year as an all-star. There was just nowhere to put him. So good to see him up in the big leagues and get his first ever hit, and then he had his first home run the other day.
Yeah, and he's going to be getting a lot more opportunities to do just that because the news has now finally broke that it was apparent that Kyle Tucker was maybe playing with some sort of an injury, and it has now come out that they actually diagnosed him with a partially fractured hand back in June. So he was playing almost 2 months with an injury that, it was funny because Pat Murphy, the Brewers manager, was asked about this, and he said, it looks like he's playing hurt. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, everybody knows the kind of guy Tucker is. If he was playing through something a little bit, he probably wouldn't say anything.
Right.
And, hey, sometimes you're going to get eaten up by the media when you're not playing well. But when you're playing through an injury, just trying to be out there and be at your best for the team, it doubly sucks when you're getting pranced on by the media, just saying, hey, this guy sucks, get him out of here, we need this young prospect up. And sounds like they're finally going to give him some rest that Tucker most definitely deserves. I mean, an MVP candidate through the first half. So hopefully they can rest him up and get him back for October. And who knows, maybe Casey can invigorate this squad and really give them some more life towards the back half of the season when they really need it the most. And who knows, will he make the playoff roster? That is going to be a big question at the end of the season.
I think he will. I think he has to. If Tucker actually is hurt, like you said he is, that's another outfield spot that they need to fill. So you got Seiya Suzuki and Owen Casey and Pete Crow Armstrong. So it's still a great outfield. I still think the Cubs have one of the best outfields in the league, but it definitely hurts with all-star candidate and Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, and then if you look at the infield, I feel like Nico Horner has been not talked about enough this season. He has been so great with runners in scoring position, been a very consistent presence. A lot of Cubs fans have been pushing for Craig Counsell to make the move for Nico Horner to be a little bit farther up in the lineup some of these days, maybe in the 1-2 spots. Michael Busch been doing a lot of that right now, and the left-handed bat, we were talking about Yency Almonte earlier. Busch and Almonte came over from the Dodgers to the Cubs in the same trade that sent a couple of prospects back to L.A., and who knows? Busch has been having his definitely best season as a big leaguer.
Yeah.
And it's just can the Cubs put all of these pieces together at the right time at the end of the season? Because Matt Shaw is another guy who's been really giving this team some fire right now.
Yeah, that's who I want to touch on is Matt Shaw, because he has just been so good as of late. He's actually playing his best ball at Wrigley Field this year, and he just launched another home run the other night. He made the game-ending catch in the 2023 Pensacola Series to win the Smokies their championship. And, he was a reliable second baseman, third baseman for the Smokies, and now he's the everyday third baseman for the Cubbies. So one of the top prospects. He shot through the system quickly. He was a first-round pick in 2023 out of Maryland. He played a couple years in the minor leagues. He shot through the system, and then they got him up to the big leagues this year. So just a purely athletic guy at second, and you knew when he was a first-round pick that he was going to be up in Chicago.
Yeah, out of Maryland, we've got a Maryland alum on this roster as well. Nick Dean, currently on the dev list, but hoping to see him before the season concludes. Only have a couple of weeks left. And let's go ahead and bring it back to the Smokies then. So our matchup spotlight tonight, of course, it's Biscuits and Smokies. Biscuits with a 2-0 series lead right now, just like last week. But the Smokies did take all 4 of the last final games in Rocket City last week after dropping the first 2. Hopeful they can repeat that here this week. We've got Tommy Romero against TJ Nichols on the mound for the Biscuits. And right now, Smokies still trying to gain ground on Birmingham. They're in 3rd place in the Southern League North right now, 9 games back of 1st place. But let's go ahead and break down the lineups. Rich, how are the Smokies looking 1 through 9?
Yeah, tonight, Brett Bateman, who's hitting .333 in his last 10, also has walked 11 times in the last 10 games. He leads it off. Pedro Ramirez, the third baseman, who drove in the only run of the game last night with that 9th inning double down the line. He bats second. B.J. Murray, the switch hitting first baseman, batting third. Our cleanup hitter is Pablo Aliendo. He's the DH tonight. Jefferson Rojas, the 5-hitting shortstop. Rayvaj Garcia, the switch hitting second baseman. Jordan Wogu bats 7th and left. Hearn gets the catching duties tonight, batting 8th, and Garriola will bat 9th in right field with Tommy Romero, a 1-0 record and a 1.50 ERA as today's starter for the Smokies. And the Biscuits, they've had a pretty consistent starting 9 in the first 3 games, Connor, and tell us who's their starting 9.
Yeah, so Colton Ledbetter is going to lead it off for them once again. The left-handed batter is going to be DHing tonight out of the leadoff spot. Homer Bush Jr. again in the 2 spot playing center field. Yadier Arenamo, the shortstop, tonight. He's been playing second base mostly this series and launched his first Double-A Southern League homer last night. He's got a really funky stance that we talk about too much, apparently, because every time we talk about it, he does something good.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be talking about Yadier Arenamo at all tonight, so this is the last you're going to hear about him. Cooper Kinney in the cleanup spot, the left-handed batting second baseman. Will Simpson, the first baseman, in the 5 spot. Braden Taylor, the left-handed batting third baseman, bats 6th. And then 7, 8, 9 for the Biscuits will be Kenny Piper behind the dish, Noah Myers in right, and Cameron James in left, with, of course, TJ Nichols, one of the top prospects for the Rays, on the mound. And then, Rich, what's kind of your feel of this lineup right now? How have you been feeling that the Smokies have been attacking this lineup? Do you think they could do a better job, or do you think it's just the offense needs to show up a little bit more and help them out?
Yeah, I mean, only 1 hit going into the 9th inning yesterday doesn't really help at all. I don't know really what it is, because even when they make strong contact, it's just right at people. So it's a little bit mix of both. I think the biggest difference between Montgomery and Knoxville, and this is the same thing what I said last week, is productive outs. When the Biscuits are getting outs with guys on base, they're moving runners into scoring position. The Smokies are grounding out into a lot of double plays, lining out into double plays. Need to move runners better in this series against the Biscuits.
And let's go ahead and talk about some of our upcoming promotions now that we've set the stage for tonight's game number 3. First pitch at 7 o'clock. And then tonight, we got to remind you folks that Titans night. Richie's holding up the football, putting it there in front of the screen. It's got the Titans logo and the Smokies logo. They're going to have T-Rack in the building tonight, their mascot. I'm really excited to see if there's anything that goes on, maybe some funny skits between him, the Knox, Jackson, and Smokey Joe. We're going to have 4 mascots in the building tonight.
Yeah.
Going to be a fun time. And then the Smokies cheerleaders, which Richie will see if he can pick up a number tonight, folks. I'm hopeful. I'm going to be wingmanning him hard tonight, fellas. We'll see if it works for the boys. But on Saturday night, we got a fun night coming up too, Rich. But before we get into Saturday night and this bobblehead we've got right in front of us here, we got to talk about Friday's family game night, because you're the star of the promotional video.
Yeah, and come Friday, I might not be here anymore. So
Exactly.
You guys are going to take it the rest of the way after Friday.
Apparently, and well, doubly, because 1, you get axed off in the video, and then 2, you're going to be leaving us for Myrtle Beach this weekend.
I know. Hey, I'm looking forward to the beach, though. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. Yeah,
a little change of scenery.
For anybody who doesn't know, our young Richie Giuliano is getting put out on assignment. He's going to go call some games for the Low A Myrtle Beach Pelicans, the Cubs affiliate.
A rehab assignment for me.
Yeah, he's got to go work on that curveball.
Yeah.
And closing games. But anyways, as we get into Saturday night, it's that Dylan Sampson bobblehead. We've got it right in front of us here. It's beautiful. And then one thing I wanted to pull up here, Rich, it's this tweet that we've been talking about. Bang. T-minus 6 hours. That was about 4 or 5 hours ago. So if you're tuning into us right now and you check the Smokies Twitter, you might get the full peek at what those Tennessee uniforms are actually looking like right now. Everybody's very highly anticipating this night. They're going to checker the stands, and they're going to have a lot of orange on that uniform. Rich, what are you most excited for Tennessee night?
Man, I can't wait to see the checkered Covenant Health Park, you always check her Neyland and you check her Thompson Bowling and Food City Center. But now it's our turn to show what we bring to Knoxville. So I think these jerseys are awesome. You know, clean home whites there. Knoxville Smokies represented. And my favorite part is that tri-colored patch. You know what's really cool? We have that same tri-colored patch, but on a vest in one of our in the mall store in the Westtown Mall. I got one of those. It's a gray vest with that orange tri-colored star there, which is really cool. I think it pops. So if you want to go now to the Westtown Mall, they have them. And they're on sale now because not many people are wearing a vest in August. It's pretty hot.
That's right. And I'm wondering, Rich, I don't know if you have any insider information. Are they going to be wearing any like special hats for these ones too? I would love to see kind of like an orange primary color hat. I don't know if they're going to add that to the uniform. Maybe you'll see in the full reveal on Twitter. So go ahead and follow Smokies Baseball and all social media to go find out. And then we've got one last homestand coming up. That one is going to be hosting, I believe it is the Rocket City Trash Pandas, Rich?
Rocket City Trash Pandas in 2 weeks, and then Montgomery's the final series of the year. Still a lot of ground to make up. 9 games back of the Birmingham Barons. They're playing a doubleheader right now, so hopefully the Smokies can gain a little ground tonight. But, the biggest series of the year coming up, you play 6 games in Birmingham. That decides if you're going to have a chance in the last 2 weeks to battle for the second half, or if you're completely toast.
And the Smokies going to try to give themselves the best shot they can because, hey, it would be pretty fun in the very first inaugural season of being the Smokies again back in Knoxville making the playoffs. So hoping to punch that ticket to Chattanooga. It'd be very fun. They're not too far away. But Smokies going to have to take care of business here in this series and take it day by day. We got game number 3 coming up between the Biscuits and the Smokies. This is Rays and Cubs AA action here in Knoxville. So if you're listening on 92.5 or 1180 WKCE, make sure you stay tuned for all the action here tonight. It'll be Mick Gillespie and our guy Richie Giuliano on the call for all 9 innings tonight. Game number 3, Smokies Biscuits coming up. Smokies fans, we'll catch you next time.
Fans, for the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies!
Woo!